Greetings all, the retro gaming scene continues to grow, and Anbernic's latest offering is the RG35xxH H, a compact horizontal handheld priced at roughly $80 if you include shipping cost. But is this budget-friendly device worth picking up? Let's break it down. First up, let's glance over the specs. No surprise here, as it is essentially the same as the RG35xx Plus, which I reviewed about a month ago. Inside the H, you'll find the same 1.5 GHz all-winner H700 chip with a dual Mali G31 MP2 graphics unit, 1 GB of DDR4 RAM, and a 3.5-inch IPS LCD display at 480p resolution or 640 by 480. Connectivity includes 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.2, and a mini HDMI out. The 3300 mAh battery provides around 6 hours of use, depending on what you're playing. By the way, you know why the RG35xxH started a comedy club? Because it wanted to provide a form of entertainment where people were not constantly pressing its buttons. I know, bad dad joke, but it got me smiling. Next up, let's look at the design and ergonomics. The RG35xxH retains a sleek form factor at 182 grams, but shifts to a horizontal orientation. Its slimmer profile at roughly 15mm thick, along with low-profile analog sticks, improve ergonomics for handheld play, and reviewers found the unit extremely pocketable. I generally prefer horizontal handhelds, as it just seems like a more comfortable way to play to me. Along the top of the unit you have a 3.5-inch headphone jack, 2 USB-C ports, note the one marked USB-C DC is used for charging, and a mini HDMI out port along with a function button. On the bottom you have 2 SD card slots and the stereo downward facing speakers. On the left you have the volume rocker button, and on the right you have the power button and the reset button. Start and select buttons are on the top of the unit on either side of the screen. The face buttons use a rubber membrane design. Shoulder and trigger buttons are inline along the top edge. Unfortunately, 2 out of the 5 reviewers I watched still experience false diagonals when using the D-pad, so you may intermittently be frustrated with button presses that you did not intend. This was only a problem in certain games like Contra though, and overall the feedback was mostly positive in regards to the feel and usability of the controls. Audio quality seems reasonable, if unexceptional according to reports. For 8 and 16-bit systems like NES, SNES and Genesis, performance seems solid. PlayStation 1 games also run well, with higher end games like Bloody Roar running smoothly. The horizontal layout shines for arcade titles, and the firmware apparently automatically turns vertical arcade games on their side, so you can play them using the right analog stick and the ABXY buttons. This was a surprisingly convenient feature for some reviewers. Dreamcast games like Soul Calibur run without a hitch on the unit, and you can play N64 and PSP games, but games like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis had noticeable graphics issues. Remember to use the Rice GFX plugin when playing Nintendo 64 games, as this is reported to provide the best experience. From the information I gathered, it seems as though you'll at least be able to play 50 to 75% of the catalogue of games for PSP and N64. If you want a slightly more powerful console that can handle these better, you can look at the Powkiddy RGB30. I did a video on it a while ago and will leave a link in the end of this video and in the description. Lastly, the unit is not perfect, and the main concern noted was the same as with the vertical version. The firmware is very limited, does not provide a lot of options, and could be better. Custom firmware by the community is in the works, but from reports Anbernic does not want to share their source code with developers. This is hampering the development of the custom firmware, and it may take some time before a working version is available. To sum up then, the RG35xxH shows promise as a budget-friendly horizontal handheld. I love how pocketable it looks, and I think this will be a big selling point to many who just want a unit they can pick up and play with. So, if you are not too concerned about having an expanded feature set in the firmware and you are interested in buying one, I will leave a link in the description below. But if you would prefer the improved functionality of community-based firmware, you might be better off looking elsewhere. My recommendation would be that you spend a little extra on something like the Powkiddy RGB30, which has more expensive firmware available that is called Jello S. It is also equipped with a better screen and more powerful processor for around $90. If you are interested, you can check out my video on this unit by clicking on the link on screen now. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you found some value. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you in the next one.